Got it? Good? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and keep this back. Because apparently my body's supposed to speak today, so watch yourselves. If you go ahead and reset the light for me, all the way. Are you sure? Yeah. All right, cool, just because I didn't see the green flash. All right. Now that I'm done micromanaging other people, I guess I should worry about myself. So, manager versus leader. I've already given the speech, I don't know, 4 or 5, if you go to my house, half a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen times. I've lost track. But what I'm here to tell you about is the difference between a manager and a leader. These are 2 words that are often used interchangeably, but wrongfully so. Now, why is that? Am I saying that there are managers who are not leaders? No. I had a manager, he was a leader. Brandon Stewart, he was a manager at Malfe's. He's since left and gone somewhere else. And I've had leaders who are managers. But what is the difference? So to give you a quick run through, I'm going to tell you the difference, tell you how it applies here, and how we as the Citadel, or we here at the Citadel, should go about doing this. 1, the difference between a manager and a leader is simple. A manager does things right, and a leader does what's right. I'm going to say that again. A manager does things right, and a leader does what's right. So let's go ahead and put some real-world application on that. Let's think of 2 characters, or 2 main people in history, Martin Luther King and Adolf Hitler. So we're going to start with the good, because why not? Let's start with the good. Martin Luther King, what is he known for? He's known for his I Have a Dream speech, which is a technically beautiful speech. He's known for his march, and he's known for his letters from prison. Now, what was he doing at the time? Well, he was a church pastor, and he was rebelling against the United States government, or the government of various states, because it was technically on the books for me to tell you that because your skin color was different than mine, I could tell you, you're not allowed to come to this school. You're not allowed to come into this restaurant, sit down and order a cup of coffee, even though your presence has literally no effect on anyone else other than the fact that you're just sitting in a chair. So this was on the books legal as right and lawful. And we are a nation of laws, not of people. So what was he doing? He was leading and advocating for proper change and reform in our society. He was stepping up and saying, no, that's not right. And he was doing this through the proper channels. And for that, we respect him. Now we're going to go over to Hitler. Now we're not going to actually focus on Hitler. Hitler was one of those freak scenarios where someone so, I don't know, extroverted, that was so crazy, was actually able to take over a country and kill 6 million people. That's weird. That's really weird. Look in history how often that happens. It doesn't happen very often. But what are the Nazis known for? They changed military history. They took over a lot of Europe in a very short amount of time. And they committed the Holocaust. I said that number just a second ago. 6 million people. 6 million men, women, and children. I'm going to ask you, how many artists, how many scientists, how many doctors, how many musicians did we lose? Was the cure to cancer lost? Was the next great musical savant lost? We don't know. They're gone. Their lives were stolen from them, and their contribution to the world was stolen from us. This should offend you. There's not even a word to describe how infuriated you should be by this. How did this happen? How did this happen? How is it that military leaders allowed this to happen? Do you know? They were being managers. They were doing things right. Instead of saying, no, we're not going to do this, they stood up and said, Jawohl, mein Führer. Clear-cut discipline. They were just following orders. That's wrong. So how does that apply here to the Citadel? In case you hadn't figured it out yet, this place is different. It's different than other colleges. I encourage you, when you get the time, go to another college. Walk around. Just walk around. They're not all like this. They don't all wear gray. It's different. I personally came here not for a college education because I could get that somewhere else. You really can. Didn't come here for sports because, let's face it, you can get that somewhere else too. In fact, you can get a lot better somewhere else. You know, I came here for the military environment because that's what sets us apart. That's our calling card. We are the military college of South Carolina. So why does that make us different? Well, we say that we're building principled leaders. Now, a leader, like I said before, like Dr. King, should be able to stand up and say, no, that's wrong, or I don't believe in this. It shouldn't just be blind obedience to orders. No, that's wrong. Now, how do we do this? I really do think that education is crucial. Education is the most important thing out there. And we do education. We have a great education program here. But I think we're a little off focus. The United States as a whole is focusing so heavily on STEM majors, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But here at a leadership college, I think that's out of place, or we need to rethink how we educate these folks. They are focused so heavily on their various sciences, their various math classes, that how often do they remove themselves from their own situation to understand what someone else is going through? How do you educate someone to think in a situation or think outside of their own means? How is it that I can understand what it was like to be a young girl in the Depression? How do you do that? Well, we already have that. It's called a liberal education. A liberal education is free from one set discipline. It allows you to remove yourself from your situation and think and look around different perspectives. These different perspectives are going to help us to be leaders. They're going to help us to know when to stand up and when to follow orders. Because if our engineers had this, I don't know, maybe when someone was given the plans, here, build this gas chamber. You know what that's for. That's to kill people. That's to murder people. No, you should be learning how to stand up and say, that's wrong. I don't care if it does get me shot. Yes, because you should be willing to die for what you believe in. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to focus on removing ourselves from our closed-in situations and stepping up to be leaders, because God knows this country needs it. Thank you.